The stars were quiet that night, but the silence felt heavy, as if space itself was holding its breath. On the edge of the Galactic Empire's border, a fleet of alien warships floated in the void, watching the empty dark. Their commanders expected. Smugglers, maybe pirates, but not this. "Commander," one officer whispered, his voice sharp with alarm. "We are detecting something strange." The commander of the fleet, a tall alien with gray skin and golden eyes, turned toward the glowing screen. "Show me." The sensor display lit up. A massive warship, bigger than anything humans were ever allowed to touch, drifted into view. Its black hull shimmered like metal forged from shadows, and its golden lights burned like the eyes of a predator. The commander narrowed his gaze. That is impossible." Everyone in the control room froze. They knew what the ship was. An Imperial battlecruiser, one of the most powerful war machines in the galaxy. Only the Empire could build them. Only the Empire could command them. No other species had the codes, the training, or the genetic clearance. And yet, there it was. The officer's voice trembled. "Sir, scans confirm. Humans are inside." The words hit the room like an explosion. "Humans?" The commander hissed. His golden eyes flared. "That cannot be. Humans are farmers, traders, miners. They were never permitted near ships of this class." But the sensors did not lie. The alien crew stared in disbelief as the human warship advanced. Slowly, like a giant awakening from a long sleep, inside the mysterious ship, the human crew stood tense. The bridge was strange, filled with alien symbols glowing across the walls. None of them should have been able to understand the systems, yet somehow, the ship seemed alive, responding to their touch. Guiding them, one of the humans, a young officer, with sharp eyes whispered, "Why is it listening to us? We don't even know half the commands we're pressing." The captain, a calm man with steady hands, kept his voice firm. "Because it wants us here. I don't know why. But if we panic, we're dead." The ship hummed, as if agreeing with him, and the lights shifted from cold silver to a faint, warm glow, like the vessel itself was alive and breathing. Back in the alien fleet, tension rose like fire. Messages filled the comms. They must have stolen it. Impossible. Humans don't have the knowledge. Then how are they flying it? The commander slammed his fist against the console. "I will not allow this. Signal the ship. Order them to surrender." A message shot through the void. The humans received it, the alien voice echoing across the bridge. "Human vessel. You are in possession of property that does not belong to you. Power down your systems and prepare to be boarded." The humans looked at one another. Their captain's jaw tightened. Slowly, he pressed the come button. His voice was steady, but his words carried weight. "This ship did not belong to you. It chose us." Silence followed. Then laughter dark. Bitter alien laughter echoed back. "You expect us to believe that? Machines do not choose. They obey. They're masters, and you are not our equals." The captain's hand hovered over the controls. He didn't know why, but he trusted the ship. He whispered softly, almost to himself, "Show them." The lights across the bridge flickered. The alien runes on the walls glowed brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. Outside, the warship's massive cannons began to move, not by human command, but on their own. The alien commander watched in horror as the ship's weapons targeted his fleet with perfect precision. "No," he breathed. "That's not possible." In a burst of light, the warship fired. The energy beam cut through the void, striking an alien cruiser and tearing it apart in seconds. The explosion painted the darkness with fire. The human crew gasped. "We didn't press anything." One shouted. The captain's voice was low, almost reverent. "It's protecting us." Panic spread through the alien fleet. Their comms filled with fear. "It's alive. The ship, it rejects us. Humans should not be inside." The alien commander struggled to regain control. "All ships, attack! Do not let them escape!" But the warship moved like a predator in water. Every time alien cannons fired, the human ship shifted, almost as if it knew the attack before it came. Its shields shimmered, absorbing blasts, then struck back with deadly precision. On the human bridge, the crew clung to their seats as the ship moved on its own, guiding them through battle like a guardian. The captain gritted his teeth. "This is not us, it's the ship. It's fighting for us." Another human whispered in awe. "Then maybe it really did choose us." The alien commander's face turned pale. He could not understand what he was witnessing. A warship that accepts humans? No. No, this is a threat to the entire empire. The humans didn't know this storm. They had unleashed. But deep in the shadows of the galaxy, a new fear was born. If one Imperial ship could recognize humans as worthy, what if there were more? The battle ended as quickly as it began. The alien fleet limped away, broken and burning, unwilling to continue against a ship that defied all logic. On the human bridge, silence fell. The crew stared at one another, fear and awe mixing in their eyes. The captain looked out at the stars. His voice soft but filled with gravity. "They will come for us now, the whole empire. But we're not giving this up." The ship's lights pulsed once more. Like the beat of a heart dot, it was not just a machine. It was something greater. And for reasons no one could understand, it had chosen humans. Far away, in the grand halls of the Galactic Empire, whispers began. If humans could control one warship, then maybe, just maybe, the galaxy's greatest weapons would no longer belong to the Empire, and that thought alone shook the stars. The human crew sat in silence on the strange warship's bridge. The battle was over, but their hearts still raced. Sparks from damaged panels flickered across the room. The ship itself seemed calm now, its golden lights glowing faintly, like a beast resting after a hunt. One young officer finally broke the silence. "Captain, how is this possible? We shouldn't even understand this ship. We shouldn't even be alive." The captain leaned forward, eyes on the alien symbols shining across the console. His voice was low, steady. "You're right. Humans were never meant to touch this technology. And yet, here we are, which means there's something the Empire never told us." The ship hummed softly, almost like it was listening. The crew exchanged uneasy looks. Another officer whispered, "Sir, I don't think we're flying it. I think it's flying us." The words sent a chill through the bridge. Far away, in the halls of the Galactic Empire, panic was already spreading. Alien leaders gathered in a great chamber, their voices clashing like storms. The chamber walls shone with holographic images of the human-controlled warship. "This is an outrage," one shouted. His scaled skin glistened under the lights. "Humans are weak. They were given simple ships for mining and trade. They should not even know what a battlecruiser is." Another alien pounded the table. "Yet they are flying it. We saw the recordings. The ship obeyed them. It fired for them." A tall figure with silver skin spoke coldly. "The humans did not steal it. The ship accepted them. That is the true danger." The chamber fell silent. For centuries, the Empire had hidden the truth about its warships. They were not just machines. They were built long ago, in secret, using technology from a civilization that no longer existed. A civilization the Empire had erased from history. But some of the aliens remembered. Some had heard the whispers. The ships were alive in their own way. They were not designed to obey blindly. They were designed to choose. And now, one of them had chosen humans. Back on the human-controlled warship, the crew discovered a hidden chamber deep inside the ship. The doors slid open with a sound like a sigh, as if the vessel had been waiting for them to find it. Inside, the walls glowed with thousands of symbols, ancient and strange. At the center stood a console that looked older than the Empire itself. One of the crew stepped forward, eyes wide. This is a data core, the captain nodded. Let's see what secrets you're hiding. As they touched the console, the chamber lit up with holograms. Images of star systems, old wars, and long-dead civilizations filled the room. The crew gasped as they saw ships almost identical to the one they stood in, but commanded by beings with forms they did not recognize. Voice, soft but strong, echoed in the chamber. It was not spoken aloud but whispered directly into their minds. You are not the first. You will not be the last. Only those who adapt, only those who endure, may command. The humans staggered back in shock. The ship was speaking to them. The captain clenched his fists. It's true then, these ships. They were never truly the Empire's. They belonged to someone else before. The young officer's voice shook. But why us? Why humans? The voice whispered again, calm and unbroken. Because you are not what they think you are. They believe you weak. They believe you fragile, but you endure where others fall. That is why I chose you. The crew exchanged stunned looks. Fear and awe mixed in their faces. On the other side of space, the Empire's High Council debated their next move. If the humans can command one of these ships, a counselor said sharply, then they might awaken others. We buried the rest across the galaxy for a reason. If more rise, the Empire will not survive. The silver-skinned leader leaned forward, his eyes burning cold. Then there is only one option. We must destroy the humans. Before the ships awaken. Back on the warship, alarms suddenly rang out. The humans rushed back to the bridge. The captain barked, "Report!" The officer at the console paled. Multiple signals incoming. Empire warships, at least 20 of them. There, surrounding us. The crew's faces drained of color. Against 20 ships, even this ancient vessel could be overwhelmed. The alien commander's voice filled the bridge through the comms. It was the same voice as before, now harder, filled with fury. Humans, you have touched what was forbidden. You will surrender or you will burn. The captain stood tall, though his heart pounded. This ship is not yours. It never was. The alien commander hissed, then you will die with it. Cannons across the alien fleet powered up. The humans braced themselves, hands gripping the consoles. But before they could act, the ship itself stirred. Its lights flared golden. The runes across the walls pulsed like a heartbeat. Energy surged through the hull, stronger than anything the humans had felt before. The ship's voice whispered again. You are mine, and I am yours. I will not let them take you. In a sudden flash, the warship moved. Faster than thought, its cannons unleashed a storm of fire. Alien cruisers exploded one by one, their shields useless against the ancient power. Humans watched in shock as the battle unfolded. They were not commanding the ship. The ship was fighting for them, its will clear and unstoppable. But in the middle of the chaos, a message appeared on the captain's console. It was written in symbols, yet somehow he understood. You must learn. Soon I will not fight for you. Soon you must fight with me. The captain swallowed hard. He understood now. The ship was testing them, guiding them. But one day, they would need to master this forbidden technology themselves. The alien fleet broke apart, fleeing into the void. The warship's weapons dimmed, and silence returned. The crew sat frozen, hearts still racing. Finally, one whispered, "Captain, what happens now?" He stared at the stars ahead, his voice heavy with truth. Now the Empire knows we have what they fear most. And they will. Not stop coming. But this ship, it chose us. That means something. It means humans are more than they ever believed. The ship's golden lights pulsed, as if in agreement. And far away, in secret chambers of the Empire, orders were given. Fleets were being prepared. Armies were being armed. The humans had touched what was forbidden, and the price would be war. But, for the first time in history, humans were no longer just survivors. They were something more. Something the galaxy could not ignore. The stars stretched endless and cold as the human warship drifted in silence. Its dark hull shimmered with faint golden lines, glowing like veins of fire under the skin of a giant. On the bridge, the crew waited nervously. They had survived one battle, but they knew the Empire would never forgive them. The captain stood at the center of the bridge, his eyes locked on the star map. 20 red signals moved across the screen, closing in on their position. "They're hunting us," one officer whispered. The captain's voice was calm, though his hands tightened on the console. "They were always going to come. The question is, what does the ship want us to do now?" The ship's lights pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. It did not answer in words this time, only a faint hum that filled the room. Before anyone could speak again, alarms screamed. A fleet of alien patrol ships appeared from hyperspace, surrounding them like wolves circling prey. The comms activated, and a harsh alien voice filled the bridge. "Human vessel, you are in possession of Forbidden's technology. Power down your systems immediately and prepare to be boarded. Resist, and you will be destroyed." The humans exchanged uneasy glances. The young officer, his face pale, muttered, "They're not bluffing. That's a full patrol fleet, 10 ships at least." The captain drew a deep breath. "Open the channel." He spoke with steady authority. "This ship is not yours. It chose us." There was silence on the line. Then laughter, low, bitter, and filled with scorn. "Machines do not choose, human. They obey. And you are nothing but thieves sitting in a weapon you cannot control. Surrender now." The captain's voice hardened. "If you believe we cannot control it, then why are you afraid?" The laughter cut off sharply. The comms went dead. Outside, the alien ships spread into attack formation. Cannons glowed, ready to fire. The human crew braced themselves, gripping their consoles. The young officer whispered, "Captain, what now?" He looked at the glowing runes across the bridge, then spoke softly, almost to the ship itself. "Show them who you belong to." The ship answered. The bridge lights flared gold, and the entire vessel came alive. The cannons rotated on their own, targeting the enemy ships with terrifying precision. Shields flared, strong and unyielding. Alien commander shouted across his own fleet, "Fire, destroy them!" Streams of plasma cut through the void, but the warship moved with impossible speed. It weaved between attacks, its shields glowing bright. Then, with a sound like thunder, in space, its cannons fired. One alien ship was torn apart instantly. Another exploded in flames, scattering debris across the stars. On the human bridge, the crew gasped. "We didn't even press the controls," one cried. The captain's eyes narrowed. "It's fighting for us again, but it's also testing." U.S. The alien fleet regrouped. Instead of rushing in, they pulled back, circling, cautious now. Their commander's voice returned, colder than before. "You think this makes you strong? You are children playing with fire. That ship is older than your species. It will destroy you in the end." The captain replied firmly, "Then why does it protect us? Why does it fight with us?" "Maybe it sees something you cannot," the alien commander snarled. "Enough, prepare to be boarded. If the ship will not reject you, we will tear you out of it ourselves." 4 of the alien ships broke formation, moving closer. Docking arms extended, ready to latch onto the hull. The human crew froze in terror. If the aliens boarded them, they would be overwhelmed. "Captain," an officer cried, "what do we do?" "We can't fight them hand to hand." Before the captain could answer, the ship made its choice. Golden energy surged across its hull. The docking arms that touched it burned away instantly, like wax melting in fire. The alien ships recoiled in panic, their crews screaming over the comms. "It rejects us. It burns us alive." "This ship belongs to them." The humans stared in shock. The ship was defending itself, defending them, the alien commanders. Voice shook with rage. "This is impossible. That ship was built for the Empire. It cannot betray us." The captain's voice was quiet but sharp. "Then perhaps it was never yours to begin with." The warship turned, its cannons glowing brighter than ever. Another blast tore through the alien formation, scattering them. Flames lit the darkness, and broken ships drifted like corpses across. The void. The surviving patrol ships fled, vanishing into hyperspace. Silence returned, heavy and unreal. The humans sat frozen, hardly able to breathe. Finally, the young officer whispered, "Captain, did we win? Or did the ship win for us?" The captain stared at the golden lights that pulsed along the walls. His voice was heavy. "We survived. That's all that matters. But we need to understand this ship. If it's protecting us now, it's for a reason." The crew looked at each other, fear mixing with awe. The ship hummed softly, as if agreeing. But deep inside the Empire, the story of the encounter spread like wildfire. Alien senators shouted in their chambers. Military leaders demanded answers. How can humans control what we cannot? Is the ship broken? Or are humans more dangerous than we believed? If one ship accepts them, could others do the same? The Empire had no answers, only fear. And fear quickly turned to anger. Back on the warship, the captain stood alone at the viewing window, watching the stars drift by. He knew what was coming. The Empire would not stop. They would send more ships, stronger fleets, greater weapons. The ship had chosen them. And that meant they were no longer prey. The captain's voice was low, almost a whisper. They wanted to see us as weak. But now they will learn what happens when the weak fight back. The ship's lights flared once. More, like the promise of fire in the dark. Whispers traveled faster than light. Across the galaxy, from the polished halls of the Empire to the shadowy markets of outlaw stations, everyone was speaking of the same impossible event. Humans had taken control of a warship that should never have answered to them. At first, many refused to believe it. Humans, they scoffed. Those fragile creatures who can barely breathe on half the worlds we live on. Impossible. But then came the recordings. Grainy images of a human captain standing tall on the bridge. Footage of the warship tearing apart an entire patrol fleet. Reports from survivors screaming that the ship had rejected them, burning there. Crews alive when they tried to board. The whispers turned to fear. In the Senate chambers of the Empire, chaos reigned. Alien leaders shouted over one another, their voices echoing against tall metal walls. "They are dangerous." One senator roared, his scaled fists pounding the table. "This technology is not meant for them. It was forbidden." A thin alien with glassy black eyes sneered. "They are only humans. Break their bones, and they die. Burn their air, and they choke. The Empire should crush them before this fantasy grows larger." But others were not so sure. A silver-skinned senator rose to his feet, his voice calm but sharp as a blade. "You have not seen what I have seen. The ship did not simply allow them inside. It fought for them. It recognized them. Tell me, who among us can command a ship that chooses its master? Not one of you. Not one of us." The chamber fell into uneasy silence. At last, the High Speaker of the Senate struck the floor with his staff. "The matter is simple. If the humans are not destroyed now, others may follow. The old ships could awaken across the stars. And if they all choose humans," he paused, his voice dark, "then the Empire itself may fall." The vote was swift. The order was clear. The humans must be hunted. Back on the human-controlled warship, the crew remained unaware of the storm their existence had unleashed. They were too busy trying to understand the vessel they stood in. In the hidden data chamber, the strange golden runes glowed again. A young officer studied them with wide eyes. "Captain, look at this. The ship has records of other vessels, hundreds of them. They're buried, hidden across the galaxy." The captain leaned over the display, his face lit by the shimmering light. "Other ships like this one?" "Yes, battlecruisers, dreadnoughts, carriers. All ancient, all waiting." The captain's heart pounded. If the Empire hid this from us, it's because they knew the truth. These ships aren't theirs. They never were. The officer's voice dropped to a whisper. "What if? What if they all accept us the same way this one did?" The captain didn't answer. His silence was enough. Meanwhile, across distant colonies, the fear of humans began to spread. On one mining world, alien workers muttered nervously as they watched grainy news feeds. "Did you hear? The humans destroyed a patrol fleet." "Not possible. They don't have the power." "I saw it. The ship killed hundreds in seconds." If humans can control that, what happens when they build more? Even neutral traders started to avoid human space. Caravans rerouted. Borders tightened. The galaxy that once ignored humans now watched them with suspicion and dread. On the warship's bridge, the crew began to notice the shift too. One officer frowned at her console. "Captain, incoming transmissions from nearby colonies. They're warning ships not to dock with us. They're afraid." The captain closed his eyes for a moment. "So it begins. The Empire doesn't need to kill us outright. They'll let fear do the work." Suddenly, alarms blared again. Another fleet was approaching, but this time it was larger and entire. "Task Force." The comms activated, and a calm alien voice filled the bridge. "Humans, this is your final chance. Leave the ship and surrender. We will spare your lives. Refuse, and you will burn." The crew froze. Their hands hovered over controls they barely understood. The captain spoke slowly. "This ship chose us. We won't abandon it." The alien voice sharpened. "Then you will all die." The task force ships spread into formation, their cannons charging. But before they could fire, the warship moved on its own. Shields flared bright, and weapons locked onto the enemy. The humans braced as the battle began. Explosions lit the void. Alien ships broke apart under the ancient vessel's firepower. But there were too many. For every ship destroyed, two more pressed forward, shields dropping, an officer cried. "We can't take much more." The captain's hands tightened on the console. He shouted, "Then we fight together. Help the ship focus fire where it needs us." For the first time, the crew didn't just sit frozen. They began to work with the vessel, reading its strange signals, moving in rhythm with its guidance. Together, they fought like one, and slowly, impossibly, they began to win. The last alien cruiser exploded in a ball of fire, leaving only wreckage behind. Silence returned to the stars. The crew slumped back, exhausted but alive. One officer laughed. Weakly, we actually did it. We fought with the ship, not just it fighting for us." The captain allowed himself a small smile. "And we survived again, but the Empire won't stop. Every battle we win, the fear spreads farther. They'll throw everything at us soon." The ship's golden lights pulsed softly as if agreeing. Far away, the Senate chamber burned with anger. Reports of a lost task force filled the air. "They are only humans." One senator shouted, "Why do our fleets keep failing?" The silver-skinned senator's voice was cold. "Because the ships are not ours. Because the ships have chosen." And for the first time in centuries, the Empire's leaders felt something they had not known in generations: fear. The human warship floated in silence after the last battle. Fires had gone out, and wreckage from the destroyed alien fleet drifted all around like broken bones in the void. Inside, the crew sat tired, their faces pale but their eyes still burning with adrenaline. The captain stood at the bridge window, watching the stars. He spoke quietly, almost to himself. Every fight we survive, the Empire grows more afraid. But I need to know why this ship chose us. We can't win a war if we don't understand the weapon we're holding. One officer turned toward him. Captain, the data chamber. We haven't explored all of it. Maybe the answers are there. The captain nodded slowly. Then that's where we go. The crew followed him down into the heart of the warship. Doors opened without command, lights guiding their steps as if the vessel wanted them to see what lay ahead. The deeper they went, the stranger it became. Symbols glowed on the walls, pulsing like veins, and the air itself seemed to hum with power. Finally they reached the hidden chamber again. The golden runes on the walls flared bright, and the console at the center awakened. The young officer stepped forward. Captain, the ship reacts when we're all here together. It's like it knows we're ready. The captain's voice was firm. Then let's find out the truth. He touched the console. At once, the chamber filled with light. Holograms burst into the air, images of vast fleets, great battles fought long before the Empire existed. Strange beings, tall and alien, commanded ships that shone like suns. The crew gasped. This is before the Empire, one whispered. A voice filled the chamber, not from speakers, but inside their minds. Deep, calm, and ancient. I was built before your empire. Before your rulers claimed the stars. I was created by the ancients, the first to master the void. The humans froze. The captain asked, his voice careful, who were the ancients? The voice answered, steady as stone. They were the builders. They shaped the galaxy, but they are gone. Their ships remain. Waiting, watching, choosing. The young officers' eyes widened. Choosing, like you chose us. Yes, the voice said. For ages I slept. The Empire tried to claim me, but they were not worthy. Their minds were too rigid, their hearts too cold. They did not endure, they only ruled. The captain frowned. Then why us? Why humans? The light shifted and new images appeared. Human history, wars and struggles, small colonies fighting. To survive, families building homes on barren worlds, soldiers holding ground against impossible odds. The voice spoke again. Because you endure, you fall, but you rise again. You are fragile, but you refuse to break. That is the strength the ancients sought. That is why I woke for you. The chamber went silent except for the hum of power. One officer whispered, almost afraid, Captain, does this mean all the other ancient ships, they could also choose humans? The captain's jaw tightened. If they're still out there. Yes, the runes pulsed brighter and the voice continued. There are many more, hidden across the stars. Buried in secret places, the Empire fears this truth. That is why they forbid you from even touching warships. They know what you are. They know what you could become. The crew exchanged stunned looks. So all this time, one said softly, they kept us weak on purpose. The captain turned back to the glowing console. His voice was hard now, but they made a mistake. They didn't destroy these ships. They only buried them, and now we found one. The hologram shifted again, showing maps of distant worlds, each marked with a faint golden symbol. The captain's eyes narrowed. Coordinates. The young officer gasped. Those are the resting places of the others. The voice spoke once more, calm but commanding. But be warned, each ship will test you. If you are not ready, you will fall. The galaxy will not hand you its weapons freely. You must prove yourselves. The chamber dimmed. The images faded, leaving the crew in silence. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the captain turned to his crew. Now we know. The Empire didn't build this fleet. They stole it. They kept the truth from everyone, but it was never theirs to begin with. The young officer's voice shook. Captain, if the Empire learns we know where the others are, well, Try to stop us, the captain finished grimly. They'll throw everything they have at us, but we can't hide. If we stay here, they'll crush us. Our only chance is to find the others before they do. The ship's golden lights flared in agreement. Suddenly, alarms screamed. The crew rushed back to the bridge. Enemy signals filled the star map, an entire fleet, larger than any they had faced before. "Captain," an officer cried. "It's a battle group. Dozens of ships. They're moving in fast." The captain's voice was steady, though his heart pounded. "So the Empire already knows. They want to silence us before we can spread the truth." The comms opened, and the alien commander's voice filled the bridge, cold and merciless. "Humans, you have stolen what is not yours. You dig where you should not. The Empire will not allow you to continue. Surrender, and your deaths will be swift. Resist, and your kind will suffer for generations." The captain stood tall. "This ship was never yours. It belonged to the ancients, and it chose us. You can't change that." The alien's voice grew sharp with rage. "Then we will erase you." The fleet advanced. Weapons lit the darkness. The human crew braced themselves, fear in their eyes. But this time, something was different. The ship's controls responded faster, smoother. The crew felt connected, as if the vessel was guiding their hands, helping them fight. The battle roared. Explosions shook the void. The humans and the ship moved together, striking with deadly precision. Alien cruisers fell one by one. But the enemy was strong, and the fight dragged on relentless. Finally, the last enemy ship exploded in fire. Silence returned. The humans sat exhausted, gasping for breath. The captain leaned against his console, his voice heavy but certain. "Now we know the truth. The Empire is afraid. Not of this one ship, but of all the others waiting to wake. And they're right to be afraid." The ship's golden lights pulsed, warm and steady, like the beat of a living heart in the far halls. Of the Empire, news of the lost fleet spread once again. Senators shouted, commanders raged, but beneath it all was fear, because if humans could awaken one ancient warship, they could awaken them all. And if that day came, no power in the galaxy could stop them. The silence after the battle felt heavier than the fight itself. The crew of the human warship sat in their chairs, drained but alive. Stars glimmered outside the wide bridge window, and the ruins of the Empire's defeated fleet drifted like broken glass. The captain's voice broke the silence. "We survived again, but the enemy won't stop. Next time they'll come with everything they have." One officer whispered, "Captain, we can't face them forever, not with one ship." The captain's eyes hardened. "That's why we must show them what this ship can do. If the galaxy sees our strength, others will join us. Fear is a weapon, and today we'll use it." The young officer looked uncertain. "You mean, reveal ourselves?" The captain turned toward the glowing console, the runes burning gold like fire. "Yes, if the Empire hides the truth, then we'll tear that lie apart." The ship seemed to respond, its lights pulsing as though it agreed. Suddenly, a deep hum filled the bridge. The console projected a star map, and one world shone brighter than the rest. A great imperial hub. Millions lived there, and fleets were stationed to protect it. The captain studied it carefully. "This is where they gather their power. If we strike there, they'll see us, and the whole galaxy will know humans are no longer weak." The crew exchanged nervous glances. "Captain," one officer said quietly, "if we fail, that's the end of us. And the Empire will make an example of humanity." The captain's voice was steady. "Then we don't fail." The ship set course. Days passed in tense silence. Crew members barely slept, haunted by what they were about to attempt. Some whispered doubts. Others whispered prayers. Finally, the great hub world appeared in the distance, a shining jewel in space, ringed with defense. Platforms and guarded by fleets of warships. The human crew stared, their breaths caught in their throats. "It's suicide," one muttered. The captain's voice cut through the fear. "Not suicide, a message." The alien fleet detected them at once. Dozens of ships surged forward, weapons armed. The comms lit up with the cold voice of the enemy commander. "Human vessel, you should not be here. This is the heart of the Empire. Power you cannot imagine protects it. Surrender now." The captain replied firmly, "We didn't come to surrender. We came to show you, and every world watching, that humans will never kneel." The enemy laughed bitterly. "You are a single ship against 1,000. You cannot win." The captain's eyes burned with defiance. "Watch us." The first wave struck. Energy beams flashed across the void, slamming into the human warship shields. The vessel shuddered, but the golden runes blazed brighter, absorbing the storm. The young officer shouted, "Captain, the ship it's channeling the energy, turning it into fuel." The captain smiled grimly. "Good, let them fire. Every shot makes us stronger." The human warship returned fire. Its cannons roared like thunder, each blast tearing through enemy cruisers in single strikes. The crew worked in unison, guided by the ship itself, moving faster and sharper than ever. But still, more enemy ships poured in. The sky became a storm of fire. On the bridge of the Imperial flagship, the alien commander's calm cracked into fury. "How is this possible? That ship should not exist. No human should control such power." The human captain's voice echoed through comms across the battlefield. "You call us fragile. You call us weak. But today the galaxy will see what fragile really means to you." The warship unleashed its full might. Golden light ripped through the void, tearing apart battleships as if they were paper. Platforms guarding the hub world shattered. The planet's skies lit with fire as defense grids failed. Across nearby systems, broadcasts captured the impossible sight: one human ship tearing through an armada. Colonists, slaves, traders, even enemy citizens watched in stunned silence. Whispers spread like fire. "Humans," some said in awe. "They're fighting the Empire. With one ship? Maybe the Empire isn't invincible after all." On the human bridge, the crew could hardly believe it themselves. Sweat dripped down their faces, but their eyes shone with wild determination. "Captain, the fleets are breaking." An officer cried. Indeed, enemy formations began to collapse. Some ships fled. Others hesitated, fear shaking their resolve. The invincible image of the Empire cracked before their eyes. But then, a shadow fell across the stars. A massive figure emerged from the void, larger than any ship they had ever seen. An Imperial dreadnought, a weapon built to destroy planets, now aimed at them. The crew froze. The alien commander's voice returned, trembling with rage. "You have embarrassed us long enough. That ship will be your tomb." The dreadnought's cannons powered up, energy gathering in blinding light. The crew felt their hearts sink. The young officer whispered, "Captain, even with this ship we can't stop that." The captain stared at the glowing console. For a moment his jaw tightened, then he spoke. "We don't need to stop it. We need to show them we can stand against it." He turned to the crew. "If we fall here, our message still spreads. The galaxy has seen us fight, and they'll rise because of it." The crew sat in silence, their fear replaced with something stronger: resolve. "Then let's make them remember," one officer said. The warship surged forward. Its golden core blazed brighter than ever, wings of light spreading wide. The dreadnought fired. A beam of energy, wide as a city, ripped through the void. The human ship met it head-on. For a moment, nothing could be seen but light, blinding, endless, searing across the stars. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. When the light faded, the human warship still stood, scarred, smoking, but alive. The dreadnought's weapon had failed to break it. Gasps echoed across systems watching the battle. The impossible had happened again. The captain's voice carried over every channel, clear and unshaken. You think we're weak, but the more you strike us, the stronger we become. That is humanity's power. And no empire can erase it. The dreadnought hesitated. Its fleets faltered. Fear spread through their ranks. At last, the empire's forces retreated. The hub world lay silent, its great defenses in ruins. The humans stared in disbelief at their survival. Slowly, the young officer spoke. "Captain, we did it. We showed them." The captain exhaled, shoulders heavy but proud. "No, the ship showed them, and now the whole galaxy knows." The golden runes dimmed, glowing like a heart after battle. The warship drifted quietly, but its presence filled every corner of the galaxy with a single truth. The Empire could bleed. And humans had the power to make it happen. The galaxy had never been quieter or louder at the same time. Silence filled the void between star systems, but the whispers of humans' power echoed everywhere. From distant colonies to the Empire's central worlds, no one could ignore what had happened. In the Senate chambers of the Empire, chaos reigned. Alien leaders shouted over one another, their voices full of fear and fury. They survived the dreadnought. One commander hissed, his tentacles trembling. One ship. And they shattered an entire fleet. A silver-skinned senator slammed her hand on the table. "It is more than one ship. The humans now hold the key to every ancient warship hidden across the stars. Every one of them could awaken if we are not careful." The high speaker's voice was cold, sharp like ice. "We have underestimated them. The galaxy will follow their example. Fear spreads faster than fleets, and now humans are the symbol." Elsewhere, on neutral worlds, the impact of the battle was even more immediate. Traders stopped shipping goods, fearing human-controlled fleets. Colonies refused imperial oversight, questioning their loyalty to a government that could no longer protect them. They fought the Empire and lived, a miner whispered to his friend. "If humans can do that, what chance do we have against them?" The young officer on the human warship watched these reports scroll across the console. "Captain, look. Every system is talking about us. Every colony, every fleet. Fear is spreading." The captain nodded slowly. "Good, let it spread. The Empire thinks they can control everything with weapons. They don't realize the real weapon is their own fear." One officer leaned closer. "But, Captain, fear alone won't win wars. They'll come after us harder than ever. The fleets we saw are nothing compared to what they can send next." The captain's voice was calm, steady. "Then we prepare. But the first battle is over. We have sent the galaxy a message. Humans are not prey. We fight, we survive. And we will not kneel." The ship pulsed softly, as if agreeing. The golden runes on the walls flared briefly, lighting the bridge with warm power. Suddenly, a new signal appeared. Another ancient ship, a smaller vessel, older and scarred, emerged from hyperspace near a distant star cluster. The young officer gasped, "Captain, another one. It's awake." It responded to our presence. The captain's eyes lit with both awe and caution. "We are not alone. And now, other ships are choosing. Humans are no longer just fighters, they are leaders." The alien fleets in nearby systems scrambled. Rumors of humans controlling ancient weapons spread, and hesitation shook their ranks. Fleets that would have attacked without thought now hesitated, unsure what they faced. On one distant world, a veteran alien admiral stared at his fleet. "We face humans?" he whispered, disbelief in his voice. "One ship has defeated us. What if they find the others? What if every world we hold falls?" Back on the human warship, the crew exchanged uneasy smiles. They had won battles, but now a new challenge loomed. Not just survival, but leadership. The ship guided them through hyperspace as if it understood what they would face. "We must move carefully," the captain said. "Every fleet, every colony, they watch us. We must show strength, but also restraint. The galaxy is fragile, and fear can both protect and destroy." The young officer nodded. "So we don't strike unless we have to. But we show our power wherever we go." "Yes," the captain replied. "Let the Empire see that humans can rise. Let every world know that we are no longer beneath them. That is the greatest message we can send." Suddenly, a distress signal flashed across the console. A human colony under Imperial attack. The captain's jaw tightened. "They test us," he muttered. "They think fear will force us to retreat. But we don't run. Prepare the ship." The crew moved swiftly, every hand in motion. Weapons powered, shields strengthened, and the vessel pulsed with golden energy, alive and responsive. "Captain," the young officer said, "the fleet attacking the colony, it's massive. If we fail, hundreds will die." The captain clenched his fists. "Then we do not fail. This ship is not just a weapon. It is a promise. And every human under threat is our responsibility." As they approached, enemy ships opened fire. Energy beams slammed into shields, but the warship danced through the storm, shields glowing gold. Cannons fired back, precise and devastating. Enemy fleet faltered, confusion spreading among their crews. How could a single human ship move with such power, strike with such accuracy? Fear was spreading faster than fire in dry grass. The colony was saved. Fires were extinguished. Energy fields stabilized. Survivors cheered, astonished by the impossible feat. The captain watched from the bridge, exhausted but resolute. Every world we save, every fleet we defy, fear spreads. The Empire's control is cracking, one action at a time. The young officer smiled faintly. "And they think they can stop us next time?" The captain shook his head. "They can try. But humanity is no longer hiding. We have the ship, we have the power, and most importantly, we have endurance. And the galaxy sees it now." The golden lights of the vessel pulsed, warm and steady. Outside, stars drifted quietly, but the whispers had begun. Across systems, across sectors, across the entire Empire, fear of the humans grew. They were no longer prey, they were leaders. Symbols of hope and symbols of power, and the galaxy would never forget the day humans stood, unbroken, commanding ships that should never have obeyed them.